And a very warm welcome to the Wednesday week, the Sheffield Wednesday podcast. I'm Lord Hillsborough, and with me today we have the Beastmaster General himself, Beastie. Hello there, old boy.
How's it hanging?
Oh, low and to the left, old boy, low and to the left. How are you?
It's always low and to the left with you, isn't it?
Dress to the left, because the left impress, old boy.
Well,
that's where
you need to move it about. No. Forget I said.
I don't pay him that much, old boy. And yes, it's just me and you this evening, Beastie. We've had some apologies from Mr. Fudge, who's at work, and Mr. Edward, who's also over there at work as well. Oh my word, Beastie, all these people that have to work for a living.
Yeah, it's just an excuse, really, isn't it? They just don't want to be with me and you.
Well, it's not the first time someone said that to us.
Oh,
now, before we crack on, Beastie, it must be said, you seem to have started a new game this week over there.
Oh, no. No, let's be right here. I didn't start a new game. Ozzy the Chuffing Owl started a new game.
So, ladies and gentlemen, for those that haven't got a clue what we're talking about, Beastie, of course, was our wonderful match day tweets. He tweets therefore, obviously his own Twitter feed there. It's very nice of you to do it as well, Beastie, to keep everybody up to date on what's happening at the game. And we all know you've bought yourself a new fancy telephone. With the predictive text on there, and the predictive text sometimes plays up a little bit. We've talked about this on the podcast before, of course. And Mr. Aussie Owl has now turned into this to a game, which is the owl equivalent of a drinking game, where every time Beastie misspells something, or should I say Beastie's phone misspells something, Aussie eats a pie. So if you want to join in with the Aussie Owl Beastie drinking game, by all means, you don't have to use pies. By all means, use tequila. That's so much more fun. And eventually, you can't actually read what Beastie's saying, so everything becomes a spelling mistake. Then everybody gets trashed. It's fantastic.
Can I just tell you something now, right?
Absolutely.
Number one, I turned off my predictive text 2 games ago. Right? And the other night at Blackburn, when I was tweeting, I was concentrating very hard on not spelling anything wrong. And once he told me that he was playing this stupid game, right, I tweeted to him in anger, and everything went, it went bullshit.
So, yes, please do follow along and play the Beastie to Eat drinking game. Of course, we don't advocate irresponsible use of alcohol here on the Wednesday week, unless you're in your own home with a lot of alcohol.
Right. Irresponsive texting.
Irresponsive texting, absolutely.
Irresponsive? Is that even the word I was looking for? Irresponsible.
Your fingers aren't irresponsive when you want to type something.
I've even got predictive talking.
Anyway, so let's crack on, Beastie, shall we? Football, that's what we're here for. And first things first, Leeds. Of course, we all seen what's happened with the Leeds match. It's been covered to death. Absolutely awful scenes. By not just the Leeds fans, of course. There are plenty of Leeds fans out there that I'm sure are upstanding citizens and wouldn't dream of doing anything like that. Of course, every club does have their element, shall we say. But it has been done to death in the press and everything. So we're not going to go on too much about that, are we, Beastie?
No, I don't see the point. As you say, everybody knows about it. Everybody either saw it at the time on the television or they've seen it on the news or in the papers. We don't need to cover it anymore. Let's talk about the good stuff instead.
And the plenty of good stuff there were. Beastie, a fantastic performance by the Owls. We've got to be said, we dominated the game.
It really was a good game, and it's a pity that it got overshadowed by the other stuff, because it could easily have been one of the best performances we've seen for a long time. Certainly, in the last 8 to 10 games for this team, and I was sat there watching that, and I was purring watching it. It was absolutely beautiful football from the Wednesday players.
No, absolutely, but I mean, the highlights for me, Bothroyd, I mean, obviously got the goal, but played magnificently, Alba, really showing his class now.
He did, and I was so pleased that he scored that goal. For him to shut up all them boo boys and the detractors that have been having a go at him from the moment that he arrived, it must have felt really, really good for the lad. Well, you could see it on his face after he scored how much it meant to him. I think he ran over towards Dave Jones as well afterwards, didn't he, to celebrate. And it was a great moment. But to me, as good as he played, and as richly as he deserved that goal, there were a lot of good performances out there, and all the way across that midfield. Semedo was absolutely fantastic, back to his best, back to his battling best, not letting anything get past him. He really, genuinely living up to his song, "You'll Never Get Past Semedo," and that's exactly what it was like. He stopped everything. And alongside him was Barkley, who was obviously playing out of his skin because his manager at Everton, David Moyes, was in the stand watching him. And to me, he was the best player on that pitch by a country mile, was Ross Barkley. He pulled everybody's strings. But right next to him, making his debut, was young Corrie. And what a debut that was.
Fantastic, old boy. I mean, we've spoken about the chap before. Of course, he has been touted around for a few clubs and made a very sensible decision not to go too early. Stayed at university, played his football at university, got all his qualifications and everything like that as well. And then obviously came here the Wednesdays. Nobody knew a great deal about him when he came. Of course, he got a fantastic name. There's a song just begging to be sung to the chap. But basically, absolutely, 18 years of age, I do believe. Is that right? And Wednesday player, I think, rather excited. Big things I'm expecting from that chap.
Yeah, well, based on what we've seen so far, yeah, I think everybody is now. He looks so composed and relaxed, confident on the ball. He wanted to be a part of everything. And you can't ask any more than that on when you're making your debut, especially in front of such a big crowd like that, and the expectations were so high from everybody. You know, the fans really wanted a performance and a result, and I think we got that. But to see that young lad strolling around there doing his stuff, it was fantastic to watch.
Absolutely, and of course, I mean, the back four looks a lot more sturdy, Beastie. Do you think we're sort of finding out what's what back there now? Of course, Liera was there. Taylor didn't factor straight away. Gardner, the centre backs do seem to be. What's the word I'm looking for here, Beastie? The potion that we need to get right, the solution that we need to get right, and they look pretty good against Leeds.
Yeah, they did. They looked solid, and they coped with pretty much anything that Leeds could throw at them. And bearing in mind, they've got a pretty good attacking lineup there, haven't they, with Juff and Vecchio.
Juff could not stop on his bleeding feet. Craig, all you had to do was run past the chap too quickly and the wind blew him over. I couldn't believe it. I mean, come on, we all know the talking about Leeds fans and all that kind of thing and Leeds players, but my word. Seriously, I don't understand how we didn't get yellow carded at the very least for diving. It was ridiculous.
Well, yeah, I mean, Juff he is what he is. We all know what he is, but he's still a skillful player. Whatever people think about him, whatever reasons people have for disliking him, and there's plenty of them about, he's still a good player. And for our defenders who you could understand if they were feeling a lack of confidence, they did well to contain him. And Vecchio, most Wednesday fans must have thought that Vecchio would be a right handful, but our lot had him in their pocket. And
absolutely.
I mean, really, by rights, we should have had a penalty from him, shouldn't we?
Well, of course. I mean, that's one of the main talking points of the game. Again, these are those little things that do forgetting about in the wake of the Kirtling incident, as we shall refer to it. It was basically a very good save from the chap.
It was an outstanding save. Any keeper would have been proud of that, wouldn't they? And the only person in that ground that didn't see it was who?
The bloody referee!
That's right, the bloody referee!
We do keep saying about this, and we've had some awful referees this season, and it does sound like an excuse. But, gee, hell, fire, Beastie. I mean, it's blatant, nailed-on penalty. How on earth can you not see that?
Well, I'm starting to lose count of the amount of bad decisions that we've had against us, where key decisions where we should have had a penalty or one's gone against us. You see something like that, which is as blatant as you like and as clear as you like. Now, all right, if the ref didn't see it, what were the linesmen doing? You can't tell me that both of them were obscured from that, right? There's 3 officials on that pitch. One of them must have seen such a blatant handball as that. And it's things like that that start to grind you down a little bit. When you add on top of that the decision not to send off that nasty little shit, Michael Brown. Sorry, I searched my predictive text there for a much better word. There wasn't one. Right? That's the only way to describe Michael Brown. He is a dreadful player. He's everything that the likes of young Corrie and Corrie is a youthful, exciting, talented footballer with a great future ahead of him. Michael Brown is a nasty little shit who has always been and never has been. And there will be nothing better.
I mean, of course, we have seen his type in the game before. We've all had as enforcers, shall we say. I mean, there's a huge difference between enforcing and just being a nasty little so-and-so. I mean, Beastie, was the referee just not watching, letting it go? I don't understand.
Well, all through that game, any time one of our players went near him, he fell over because he didn't have the talent to try and get the ball off our players. The only way he could get the ball off our players was by fouling them. Now, he tried that on Antonio several times, and how many times did he leave him toiling, eating the grass behind him? Antonio just shrugged him off. But that foul that he put in on O'Grady...
Oh, my word.
I mean, it was close to ABH, wasn't it?
Ridiculous, oh boy. Absolutely ridiculous. So, let's have a positive Beastie for goal. To quote your good young lady daughter, the A-bomb. It returns. It comes in, and there we go. It's goal. I mean, it's becoming somewhat a part of the arsenal, that, don't you think?
Well, what's not to love about the A-bomb, right? Now, to me, Michail Antonio, I don't think he's got to his peak yet. We haven't seen the best of him this season, certainly not what we had last season. And he's taking his time to find his feet. But when he gets that ball for a throw-in deep in the opposition half, you know the A-bomb's coming. And it's as you say, it's a great weapon for us to have. And he can't half-launch that ball. And that's exactly what he did. He launched it, and there was the man, Jay Bothroyd. You gotta love him.
Absolutely.
I've been singing his praises since he came and trying to shake off the Boo Boys, get them off his back. They won't have it. I hope they're going to have it now, because to go with that goal, he put in a great performance. There surely can't be any more doubt about him now. Surely.
Well, of course, busy football boys have his critics, and like they say, there's always going to be someone you like. I mean, look at Fudge for some awful reason. We can't get him to see that Buxton's a decent player. People are always going to have haters, but I'm sure if he sticks a few more of those in, it'll crack a lot. So, Beast on me crack, and of course, it has to be said, towards when the Leeds did equalise, we were under a little bit of pressure. I did think we were coping it with it quite well. Mr. Gardner, I've not been his biggest fan, but I must admit he seemed to play rather well on that day. Of course, Mr. Youth seemed to enjoy running into him and falling over, but apart from that, I thought he played well. But then, of course, the ball bounced out. Got a bit of a tap up, and the fella there, I forget his name, getting a welly, and originally it did look like a spiffing goal by the chap, but of course, on that slow-mo we can see that he took a deflection, Beastie, so it wasn't all it was cracked up to be.
Well, to be honest with you, I haven't seen that slow-mo, I haven't seen the deflection, so to me, it just looked like a good goal, and fair play to him. right? I'm not Michael Tong's biggest fan. The young'un was at me all through this game to keep my mouth shut and not say anything bad about him, because the last time I mentioned his looks and talked about him having a face like a drop pie, right? She went bananas with me because a couple of seconds after I'd finished saying that, he scored against us for the Blades.
Lovely.
So I held it all in. But when Michael Antonio lost the ball deep in our half and they raced forward, I just knew what were coming. Mm-hmm. It had all that really bad vibe about it. You know what I mean? You fear what's coming. They were up the field very, very quick, to be fair to them. Nice, quick passing, avoiding Michael, the little shit Brown, which always helps if you want to attack quickly. And he launched it, and he absolutely loved it, didn't he, scoring at Hillsborough.
Again, of course, we will try and gloss over as much as we can. We've all seen the pictures on the television of what happened next. Awful scenes. Of course, we wouldn't condone any of that kind of behaviour. And again, I shall say it till I'm blue in the face. Every club has got their element. It just so happens that element happened to be there that night. So anyway, we'll crack on. But all that'll be said, of course, it wasn't what we was looking for. I think we did deserve a win from the game. Absolutely, we did. But would you have taken a draw before the kick-off, Beast?
I think I would, if I'm honest. If I'm being honest, I really do think I would. But if you listen to, I know that both managers gave very heated interviews afterwards, and emotions were running high. But if you listen to what Colin says and the way he talks, I think he knows they got away with that. I think he knows that they were outplayed all over the pitch for the best part of 90 minutes, and they were very, very lucky to get away with a draw. And I have to agree with that feeling. We deserve more than that, but in the cold light of day, I would have taken a draw at the start, yeah.
Absolutely. I must take exception with one of the things that our erstwhile cousin Colin did mention. Of course, he did came over and started to make all the right noises about the incident, how it was discussed, and this and all that. And then Colin, being Colin, had to pop in there. But Colin did go down like a ton of bricks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't get me wrong. There was absolutely loads wrong with his interview, right? You could pick holes in it all week long. But the underlying feeling from it was that he knew they'd got away with it. They knew they'd come away with that with a point that they didn't deserve.
Absolutely. So, Beastie, let's put it to bed. Of course, very disappointed. However, we keep talking about these shoots of recovery, and we're on his way. We're on his way, slowly but surely. And so, we'll put the Leeds thing to bed. Have you noticed that those cold nights are coming in? That's right, ladies and gentlemen, winter's on its way. And to make sure that you are safe and warm in the winter, the Wednesday Week podcast would like to offer you podcast pants. That's right, podcast pants are here to keep you warm all winter long. And you can also get them with your favourite podcaster right on there. We have Fudgy Pants. Going on a messy one? Keep your finger of fun supported all night long with our Fudgy Pants. Eddie's Sausage Arm Pants. Oh, never mind sausage arms. These little beauties will keep your sausage warm all day long. And don't worry, ladies, we've not forgotten about you. We've got Beastie Pants, guaranteed to keep your growler snug as a bug in a rug. And for you lovers of luxury out there, we have Lordy Pants. Fur-lined with a battery-powered heater to ensure your little lord is as comfortable as a lord should be. Podcast Pants. Order your pair today. Podcast pants aren't a real product, and anybody that thinks so is an absolute numpty. So, Beastie, on with crack. Blackburn. Must admit, Beastie, I was a little bit dubious about this one as well. Of course, we came up, Blackburn came down. Last season, there was a whole division separating us. So we all know the trouble that Blackburn have been through. The fans haven't supported the manager, shall we say. Of course, he has gone on his way now, and they do seem to be settling down. What were your thoughts before this game, Beast?
Well, yeah, like you are. I thought this was another tough game. We seem to have had, I know we're in the middle of a dodgy run of form, but we seem to have been coming up against all the better teams all at once in rapid succession. You know, we've had all the ones that have been relegated now. We've had Bolton, Wolves away, Blackburn away. We've had Leeds. All these teams that are expected to be right at the very top of this division have got money to spend, and have got some of the Championship's better players. And here we are, trying to settle into the division and get ourselves used to it, and trying to walk before we run, and it's never ending. And this was another one of them games where I thought, well, at least it'll be a gauge of how far we've come from when we played them last season in the cup, and we were totally outplayed.
And you must, I mean, it has to be said, Beastie, that gauge, my word, how we didn't spank them, as you'll never know. Well,
yeah, again, it's a bit like a broken record, this, isn't it?
Absolutely.
We were their equal for most of the game, and we were better than them for long periods of it. We just went to sleep early on again for that sucker punch of a goal. It was just cringingly bad. I don't know if you've seen it since, but it's like anybody that's watching it on Wednesday World or on Sky or whatever, they've seen that goal many times this season. It's
Absolutely.
The same goal that we conceded most of the season. They're getting at the back, it goes along the deck into the 6-yard box, and somebody taps it home. And for some reason, the ball goes unhindered right across our box, through our defence, and nobody can touch it except the opposition player. If I'm honest, I was a little bit disappointed with Ross Barkley, because he chased the lad down that crossed the ball in, and then he just let him go. And I thought, if he puts a tackle in there, right, that ball don't get into the middle, and he just let him go. I know the lad he did have his hand in Ross Barkley's face, but he should still have put a tackle in. And then, just to make things worse, Semedo should have put the ball out as well. There were so many things wrong with it.
Absolutely. It comes back to what Mr. Jones keeps saying, those singular mistakes, those one little taps, half an inch all the time, and yes, it sounds like an excuse, and yes, we've said it all before, but it's so frustrating, Beastie, so frustrating.
It is.
And to outplay them as well, and I mean, fair enough, I mean, we made the chances. The final ball could have been a little bit better, from those crosses from both sides. Medine, it doesn't seem to be firing just yet. I know we've said this before, but we're just missing that just little cutting edge up front. I mean, Beastie, of course, we're getting towards the end of the year now. I know it's a little bit early to be speaking about these kind of things, but January is on its way. As we all know, Mr. Milan is a very astute chap, shall we say. Do you think we're going to see much of a change in January? Do you think we're going to be looking for someone? Do you think Milan will get his wallet out and whack some cash down on someone that's going to score us 30 goals this season instead of free transfers and pick him? I don't know, we've got some decent players picked up here and there, but we could just do without one big money striker that's going to really give us some well up front, that's going to stick all those balls in.
Well, that's all that we're lacking that I can see from this side. I mean, we've been discussing it all week. The thing that's really letting us down is it's not even the final third anymore. It's the last yard, if
Absolutely.
you like. Everything else seems to be flowing really well. The back four look good. Lewis Buxton at Blackburn was absolutely outstanding. Right, he really was back to something like against one of the better sides, against one of the pacier sides on the break, and he was fantastic. So, Fudge, when you hear this, now you know, right? Lewis Buxton is back, he's big, he's badder than ever.
So, Beastie, looking forward to January. Mr. Jones, Mr. Milan, got their heads together. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see some money spent? Do you think we're going to have somebody pop up from the academy all of a sudden and start netting some goals? Of course, we have got this new under 21 system now, whatever they want to call it, School of Excellence. I don't know what they call it these days. My word, it used to be a reserve team when I was. Of course, everything changes these days, and they've been playing quite well. Of course, we didn't happen to cover when we played Sheffield United under 21s. Medine played, Rodri played, and scored some very good goals. So where's it going to come from? Beast, are we buying or are we promoting?
Well, I think we have to buy, because we need someone who has got a proven track record of finding the net. And really, I can't emphasise it enough that is the only thing that's missing from this team now, as far as I can see. Like last night, for instance, we created enough going forward. The ball came into the box. We just weren't able to do anything with it. But you stick somebody the likes of Grant Holt or the likes of a Charlie Austin in there. I know these cost a lot of money. I know they're playing at teams that are doing well. But you stick someone like that in there, and our team changes overnight, because then we've got a complete team. And it must be driving Dave Jones mental, because he can see what's going on. We can all see it. We're passing the ball well. We're defending well now, barring the odd mistake. So I just hope, I hope that Dave Jones is given the time to sort it out. But I must admit, I'm starting to fear for him.
Really? You think Mr. Milan could be having his axe out, basically? I mean, it did give him some money in the summer. We didn't spend a great deal. Of course, a lot of the transfers that we did make were undisclosed, shall we say, which generally means that the players would be far too embarrassed, or the players' representation would be far too embarrassed to let you know what you actually paid for those players. And of course, we do know that the biggest money that we spent, I should imagine, would have been on Antonio, reporting to be around about £750,000, thereabouts. But I must admit, I was expecting a bit more spent. I mean, I should imagine we earned quite a little bit last season, Beast, popping up as we did. And I should imagine that ticket sales are going well, and I should imagine that season ticket sales are going quite well as well. We know that Milan's in it for the money. He's made no joke. He's obviously a football lover as well. But do you think the money's there, Beast, or do you think Milan's keeping an eye on his investment?
Well, you would have thought that we would have been sounding people out, or we would have got somebody in on loan, wouldn't you, by now? I really can't get an angle on it, because if Milan decides that he's had enough, Dave's had long enough, and is moving him out and bringing somebody else in, then the new bloke coming in is going to want some of his own players. And if he's going to do that, then he might as well give Dave Jones the money. Right? Let him go out there, get a striker, and that's all we need, as far as I can see. We just need somebody who can stick it in the net.
Well, after he's let him play over the season, or without the start that we have, is that something that Milan's going to allow? Is he going to give him some more money to spend after we've seen the start we've had with these new players, or is he going to give him the time for these players to gel, or it's a very confusing situation, Beastie.
It is, and as you know, I'm very easily confused.
Our expert analysis brand here is going down the tube rather quickly.
Yeah.
Now, of course, we did have Mr. Maguire at the beginning of the season as well. We've seen very little of him indeed. I mean, do you think he might get a chance with Medine not firing as he should? I mean, Cog seems to be in and out, and the chap does play well. Both right, of course, feeling his feet, but with this new formation that Mr. Jones has got on there, ever so out of kilter at the moment. I don't know, Beast. I'm confused. Do you think Maguire will pop back in?
It don't look that way, does it? It really doesn't look like Maguire features anywhere in Dave Jones's plans. I don't know why, because whenever we've seen him, it looks quite good. It's just...
Maybe he had a cracking pre-season.
Well, yeah, and I think the last time we saw him play was against Fulham, and he had a cracking game then. It's just usually... Dave, you know how a manager is feeling about players, and they usually get a little run out. But we're not seeing him. I mean, he was on the bench against Blackburn last night, but there were never any fear of him coming on. So I really don't know where he figures. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe he could be the key, but I don't see him. I don't see him being part of Dave Jones' long-term plans. I mean, it's a strange old situation, really, isn't it? That the Wednesday fans, or a certain faction of Wednesday fans now, are calling for Dave Jones to be sacked, because they're not interested in good football. They just want the results. Now, you've also got the other half that are only interested in good football and they think the good results will come. So you can't please everybody all the time, can you?
Especially not the Wednesday fans, or boys, especially not the Wednesday fans.
No.
But the thing is, we've seen it all before, of course, and we do hope those good times are back. But like I say, we've got two slightly not easier games, shall we say. Of course, there's no such thing as an easy game in football, but we've got those coming up, and we shall see. Maybe that might be a little bit to our level. I hate to say it, but of course we are newly in the league. We've got Ipswich coming up. And Peterborough, of course. So we shall see. So let's crack on. Any other news? We've got Mr. Barkley staying with us for a while.
Yeah, that's great news, isn't it? You can't. Anybody that saw that Leeds game couldn't fail to be impressed with the lad. With each game, he's grown in confidence. He's grown in stature, and his influence over each game has grown. And that happened again last night. I know I said that he would I held him slightly at fault for the goal that Blackburn scored, but he didn't have grow into that game, just like he did in the Leeds game, and I really do love to watch him when he's in the mood, and the longer he stays with us, the better as far as I'm concerned.
Absolutely. I mean, he looks to be a cracking chap, and he's only going to get better. It's going to be another one of those fellas that we make good and then send out into the ether. Of course, we've seen him all before. Mr. Marshall's seems to be doing quite well these days, and we shall see. Anyway, Beastie, we've got some cracking news, old boy. Some exciting news.
What's that? I'm all excited.
The Wednesday week now have TheWednesdayWeek.com. The website is up and running, Beastie, so everybody can go and see your wonderful face.
Oh, right.
So, ladies and gents, if you do care to pop over and see the website, it's www.thewednesdayweek.com. It's all up and running. It is still in production, shall we speak. There's plenty over there at the moment. You can see our bits in the programme. And Beastie, I don't want to tread on your toes here, old boy. As you all know, Beastie writes his blog over there for Owls Alive, the website that he writes for. And so, there's plenty of other blogs on there as well. One particularly very good one this week, I might add, Beastie, from your young daughter, I do believe.
No, rubbish.
It's a fantastic one, absolutely wonderful, so I urge anybody to pop over there. Of course, we do normally have Eddie on here from Wednesday night, and of course they have all sorts of blogs on there as well, but we are looking for one or two people to write for the website as well. So if you fancy you're having a crack at writing a blog, there's nothing up there just at the moment, so if you've got any thoughts on match days, news, anything at all, by all means send us your blog. All the things is over there at the website, which I will reiterate is thewednesdayweek.com. Please do pop over there, have a nosy about. There's all sorts of bits on there. You can see all how to get at all the back catalogue of shows on there as well. Also, there's all the show as your chance up on there. Oh, sorry, pull down your chance, should I say. Up on there as well. You can peruse and have a little nosy through. Everything's up on there for you. And we've got a few little exciting bits and bobs on the website to come as well, so please do keep your eye over there. And also, what we're going to do on the website is where you listen to the Wednesday week. I'm just, I'm not doing it, of course, I'm not doing it on the law, for goodness sake. Jeeves is over there now, beavering away, just making his page now. We've got a few for there already. We've got Jay over there in Australia listening to the podcast in his car, and he's been kind enough to take a photo for it. We've got a few other little bits and bobs, people watching it on the television all over the place, Beastie. So we want you to send out your pictures of how and where you're listening to the Wednesday week. Also, of course, all the links are over there. All the normal ways to contact us as well, so please do pop over there and have a nosy. And one day, you never know, we'll be rich and famous, and we can close this down and go and live a happy life somewhere else.
Is there a photo of fudge on there?
Absolutely, old boy.
Well,
a very interesting photo of fudge, shall we say.
Well, maybe you ought to put a Southern Jesse warning up on the website then. Maybe you should run a poll and see just how Southern looking people think he is. Because I don't think I've ever seen anybody as Southern looking as him.
Oh dear, no, but of course he's Sheffield born, well, Rotherham should we say, born and bred, and he's down there now playing his trade as a superstar DJ, but it's had an effect on him.
It's gone a little bit cockney. I think maybe he's turning into a pearly king.
If anybody can get a photo of Fudge eating jelly deals, we'd be very interested and pay jolly good money for it as well. So, Beastie, any other news from your end, old boy? Any other Wednesday news?
No.
No, fair enough. Not to worry. Yes, so we have been incredibly busy this week working on this new website, so we haven't prepared any shows chance or anything like that. But rest assured, everything will be back next week. Of course, Judge Fudge will be back next week. I had my old wonderful Peter Atherton speech prepared. Unfortunately, the judge is not here to judge for us. BC, have you done your research as well?
Oh, of course, I've done loads.
My dog ate it.
It's just a pity that all that work and hard graft that I've put in has been for nothing because Fudge couldn't be bothered to turn up. Right? Just because Fudge has got too southern in his ways, right, now all that graft and toil and sweat I've put in this week to learn all in-depth material about Stevie Hazzy Haslam. Well, it's been for nothing. He's let us all down. He's let us all down.
Disgusting, but Jeeves worked very hard on my speech, very hard indeed. And we do have to say, we do a debt of gratitude as well this week to the Sheffield Wednesday Football Club. We've done very, very well with our listenership this week, as the SWFC Twitter page was kind enough to do a retweet of one of our tweets, and we got rather a few new listeners over there. So if you are one of those new listeners, welcome aboard. By all means, queue up behind Beastie for a drink. Beastie's buying, he always does. It's ever so kind of chap. So please, if you are one of our new listeners, do pop over to iTunes and feel free to subscribe so you get this in your inbox every single week. And if it's not too much trouble, if you wouldn't mind popping over there and giving us a 5-star review as well to help spread the word of the Wednesday week. And Beastie, we were on the new and notable list this week as well over there on iTunes.
Blimey, I haven't been new and notable since about 1971. That has taken me a while.
Hey, you weren't particularly noticeable then, were you, old boy?
No. Although I did cut a dashing figure in my flares, I must say.
And also, if you do write a review, we're going to have a little look at those reviews this week as well. And for the very best review reviews, we shall be reading those out here on the Wednesday week as well. So keep your eyes peeled for a name check, or your ears peeled even, for a name check next week, and we'll be reading the very best of those reviews out here on the Wednesday week as well. So, Beastie, have you anything else, old boy?
No, if there is anybody that's just listening to us for the first or second time, then if you've got anything that you want us to cover, any ideas, then give us a shout and we'll cover it.
Absolutely, and if you have any Wednesday news, if you've seen Mr. Medine eating pies in the street, or if you've seen whatever the hell that Mr. Maguire's up to these days, by all means, let us know, and we'll be happy to cover your stories. So, Beastie, Ipswich Town, again, coming up, a bit of a review. Got to be said, they're not on the greatest of runs at the moment. Of course, Mr. Jules, over there, or shall we say, was over there, and they are managerless at the moment, Beastie.
Yeah, they've lost the crown jewels, and they're on a bit of a downward spiral. They haven't won certainly in the last 5 games. So, up against us, who are riding the crest of our slump, it don't look a very scintillating game, really, does it? I think we've lost 3 and drawn 2 of his last 5, and they've done exactly the same, so something's got to give here.
Yeah, it should be an interesting game, but I mean, we've got to say, of course, we were a bit iffy about Blackburn, a bit iffy about Leeds. This was a winnable game.
Yeah, well, like I said earlier, these next 2 games are make or break for Dave Jones. And we very rarely get out down at Ipswich. It's a long old journey. It's a 4-hour drive down there, or best part of 4-hour drive. And if he can come away from there with a win, that'll make that journey home a hell of a lot easier to take.
Now, what are we looking for, BC? Are we looking for a good win? Are we looking for a decent win? Or do we just need some points?
I think now we just need a win, don't we? You can't have... Most fans want both, don't they? They want a good performance and they want a win. Now, I think we're at desperation stakes, and surely now the only thing that matters is
a win. Right? 3 points, no matter how we play. I don't care if it comes off Medine's backside or it's an own goal or whatever. As long as we come away with 3 points. We forget playing good. We've played good so far, right? And we've got nothing for it. If we come away with a win, having played badly, I'll still be happy.
Absolutely. I mean, it has to be said, they've got some decent players over there, shall we say. Aaron Cresswell, interesting chap. Of course, they've got Rio Coker over there as well, who's always been an interesting boy. DJ Campbell's not, he knows where the goal is, old boy. Knows where the goal is. Again, our managers at the moment, do you think that's going to affect them very much?
I don't know. It's a funny old transition period when you lose a manager, isn't it? Sometimes the players lift the game a bit because they want to say, well, this is for the old boss. But, I mean, we haven't won there since 2006. Surely it's time now. I mean, when we won on that game, I had £25 on Marcus Tudgay to score the first goal, and he did. So maybe on Saturday I'll put 25 quid on, Bothroyd. Right, I'll tell you what I'll do, right? I'll put 25 quid on Jay Bothroyd to score the first goal on Saturday against Ipswich, and if it comes in, I will donate 50% of that to Pact and to Isabel's charity. There you go.
Oh, fantastic. Well done, old boy. And the other 50%?
That's going in my pocket.
On hair dye?
I don't know what you mean. Why would I want hair dye? You know, me and you can fall out, you know. I don't like to fall out with the landed gentry, right? But there's a first for everything. And some things we don't talk about. We do not mention the D word and we do not mention the L word.
Terribly sorry, old boy. I do apologise. But no, I'm very kind of it.
Too far!
Oh, my Lord. I know how he felt now. So, Beastie, give me a prediction. What do you think?
I'm going to go for 2-1 to Wednesday.
2-1 to Wednesday?
2-1 to Wednesday, and hopefully Jay Bothroyd scores the first goal so that I can go absolutely ecstatic. I'll tell you what, my money will be down, so if he does score that first, the tweeting will be a little bit off the chart, as Jamie Oliver says. Right, it will be right off the chart.
And if people want to follow those tweets, Beastie, where do they need to go?
They just need to tune into the...
segue.
They just need to tune into the hashtag SWFC, or they can follow me on Twitter at Beastie_. And I'll tell you what I'd like to complete that 2-1 victory. I would like to see Taylor nod one in.
Oh, really? I mean, as after it sounds, Beastie, do you think he's going to get a game?
I hope he's going to get a game. I thought he did enough against Blackburn to get a good game. Still, a lot of Wednesday fans getting on his back, but I'll tell you now, he did nothing wrong during that game. In fact, one of his tackles was worth the price of admission alone. It was that good, and he virtually stopped a certain goal. I thought he played very well. Probably his best game for us so far. So let's get off his back. Let's get behind him. And get behind the rest of them. Oi! You can get off his back. You've never liked him. Right? Get off his back. In fact, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a tenner on him to score any time.
Oh, my word. Beastie, are you feeling flush this week, old boy?
Well, it's payday next week, isn't it?
So, of course, you can get hold of me over there on Twitter as well, at Lord_H, that's L0RD_H over there on Twitter. And I'm not going to go through the normal ways to get hold of us, because you can now go to www.thewednesdayweek.com and see everything over there. So, Beastie, is that it for this week?
Let me just consult my notes. Yes.
And so it's been such a little bit of a shorter show this week, chaps. And of course, we have been incredibly busy over there with the website. Our army of technicians have been beavering away, and somebody's got to keep the army of technicians in line, old boy. So we've been cracking the whip over there. But rest assured, we'll be back to full strength, back to normal next week. And please do come and join us then. Beastie, can I have a goodbye?
Goodbye!
Much more go solo than last week. And it's a very good bye from me, ladies and gents. And we shall see you very soon.